So in today's warm-up, we're going to practice writing expressions using the let statements. The let statements, again, don't forget, describe the expressions. And then we're going to substitute into those variables that we've written in our expressions. So we're very specifically told to write 3 expressions using let statements. Again, one more time, let statements describe the expression. And this is the scenario that we're representing. So Nathan has some cookies. Alex has twice as many cookies as Nathan, and Rebecca has 4 more than Nathan. So obviously the first thing that we don't know, that's the question we always ask, what's the first thing we don't know? The first thing we don't know is how many cookies Nathan has. So that's going to be my first let statement. I always start with let, and then I'm going to assign my very first variable, which will be the only variable I use for throughout. Let n equal the number of cookies Nathan has. Now, your let statements need to be very, very specific. You can't just write cookies or Nathan because it doesn't tell you exactly what we're talking about as far as the cookies go. So that's this one here. Next, Alex has twice as many as Nathan. Twice. Well, the word twice tells us to multiply by 2. So when I do that using my variables, the things I don't do n times 2. I don't do 2xn because x is a variable now. I don't do n2 because that sounds like we're even. N2, you would never say that I have chairs 5. You would say I have 5 chairs. So that's the same way we remember how to write variables when they're being multiplied. So again, I'm going to have let n, well no, not let n, I already have let n, that's how many Nathan has. So Alex has twice as many as Nathan, so 2 times n or 2n, that's the only way to write it. That's the acceptable way to write it. So let 2n equal number, that's the abbreviation for the word number, of cookies Alex has. So that takes care of my next one. And now finally, Rebecca has 5 more cookies than Nathan. Always start with let, and now my expression. How many 5 more than Nathan? So I have to start with what Nathan has. Nathan has n, and 5 more means I'm adding 5 to it. So I've got n plus 5. So that's my last expression, and that's equal to the number of cookies Rebecca has. Okay, so I've now written my 3 expressions. This is an expression, this is an expression, and this is an expression. And these let statements explain what each expression stands for. So one more time, this, and this, those are the expressions. So that's what we're going to use when we're substituting in. So my next page, it tells us that Nathan has 10 cookies. And then it asks us how many does each person have. So I need to figure out for each person. I've got 3 people. I've got Nathan, Alex, and Rebecca. Okay. So Nathan has 10. The expression for Nathan was simply n. I'm going to put a semicolon. That is not a J, that is a semicolon. Just like in language arts, a semicolon separates 2 parts of your sentence. That's what we're doing here. We're separating the 2 parts. So we've got n for Nathan, and then we were told that n is equal to 10. And now we substitute in 10. There's nothing else to be done because we simply straight out substituted it in, and we have to label it 10 cookies. Okay, so next the expression for Alex, again, was 2n, semicolon to separate that from what we're assigning the variable n to be. So that's n equals 10. We substitute in 2 times 10. We don't use an x, and x is now a variable. We could use parentheses, but either way we have to show that we're multiplying, and 2 times 10 is 20. Again, we have to label it as cookies, so it's very clear. The last one is Rebecca. The expression for the number of cookies Rebecca has is n plus 5. The semicolon to separate both parts. N equals 10. I substitute in 10 plus 5, and I know that that's 15 cookies. So, Nathan has 10 cookies, Alex has 20 cookies, Rebecca has 15 cookies. I've written my expressions, and I've now solved for each one of them.